In order to have fun with men, my sister made snakeskin underwear out of snakeskin. She said snakeskin is as smooth as jade and the desire for it is great. After wearing snakeskin underwear, men will naturally fall in love with her. Sure enough, the night my sister wore snakeskin underwear, men sneaked into her room. Not long after, there was a scream in the room. Tonight it was even worse. 5 men entered my sister's room at the same time. I thought my sister couldn't stand it, but her room was full of unbearable screaming all night. Even the louder my sister screamed, the more excited those men were. They sniffed my sister's underwear crazily, and sometimes made an indescribable noise. Pingren, your underwear smells so good. Especially when you touch it, it's smooth and soft, just like real leather. I really want to sleep with you every day, never stop. Then you can come to feed me every night, okay? The next morning, a group of impatient men came to my sister's room again. These men stayed in my sister's room for a long time before they were willing to come out. And after coming out, everyone was in a good mood and satisfied. I waited at the door according to my mother's request, and waited for the men in my sister's room to come out before I could go in. I don't know how long I've been standing. My legs are sore. I have a grudge. Since my sister and different men in the village got entangled, she didn't have to do anything. After all the men left, I walked to my sister's bed with a meal. I called her to get up for dinner. I only saw my sister lying on the bed, with a quilt on her body and a head covered by hair. I couldn't see her face at all, and she seemed to be eating something. From time to time she made a very enjoyable noise. I called her several times, but my sister didn't answer me. I wanted to go in and see what my sister was doing. I only saw my sister holding a big mouse with her mouth full and kept biting it. Out of worry, I opened my sister's quilt first and wanted to drive the mouse away. But when I opened it for a moment, I was lying on the ground. I only saw a layer of film between my sister's legs, seemed to be stuck together, and my sister's legs were still moving like a snake. You're a bad girl. Who let you in? Men are only allowed in my room. Get out of here now. Sister, is your leg a little weird? I was angry with my sister at this time. She threw all the food I brought to me and scolded me. I think you just can't get a man to say grape acid. You're just jealous of your sister that I have a man who loves me. You're trying to piss me off. But you're a low-class bitch. You don't deserve to rob me of a man. Get out of my house now. Get out of here. After my sister finished, she didn't forget to wait for the next man to come. I covered my sister's broken wound and walked out of my sister's room. After I went out, I told my mother about my sister eating a mouse. My mother was not only not afraid, but also very excitedly held my hand and asked me, is your sister's leg itchy? My sister's legs are weird, seems to be stuck together. As soon as I finished talking, my mother had a smile that I couldn't understand. She nodded and said to herself, it's almost done. It will be more tender in a few days. Mom, what are you talking about? My mother immediately regained a calm look. She smiled and said it was nothing. She asked me to go to work quickly. I said yes. As soon as I was ready to go, my mother held my hand. I see. Mom gave you a set of skincare products. I can't believe I'm looking at my mother. It's the first time she's been so nice to me. My mother never gave me skincare products before. She gave them all to my sister. My nose was sore and tears flowed down. Mom, why did you give me skincare products? It's nothing. You're growing up. It's time to take care of yourself. And your skin is more tender and better. My sister became weirder and weirder in the past few days. She started to crawl around the house. There are more and more men in her house. Every man is satisfied after coming out. They say they've never had such a good product. The skincare products are not like what people can have. It's a delicacy, and my sister has a big appetite. In order to make my sister full, Mom kept an eye on the little dog 𝐒𝐜𝐚. She said if she gave 𝐒𝐜𝐚's skin to my sister's skin would definitely grow better. Just when my mother was about to grind a knife to wrap a dog, someone rushed into my house. The person who rushed in to call my mother was the village chief Zhang Chushi. He and my mother are about the same age, and they've always been friends. I don't know what the village chief Zhang told my mother. My mother ran out with him immediately. I took the opportunity to go out with my mother. I immediately untied the rope that tied 𝐒𝐜𝐚. I let 𝐒𝐜𝐚 go. 𝐒𝐜𝐚 didn't seem to want to leave. Even though I hit him and scolded him, he didn't leave. After a while, 𝐒𝐜𝐚 seemed to know I was trying to save him. His eyes seemed to be telling me that he would come back one day. He finally looked at me and shouted in the house. Then he turned around and left. Run as far as you can. After Huang ran away, I went out and quietly followed behind my mother and the village chief Zhang. The two of them walked to the center of the crowd. The surrounding area was full of villagers. I opened the crowd and peeped out to see what happened. I didn't care at first. After seeing it, I vomited out of disgust. There were 3 naked men lying on the ground, and these 3 men only retained their entire upper body. Their lower body was all rotten. It seemed to have been eaten by wild beast. Especially the place under the body was rotten and smelly. When I was peeing, I heard my mother and the village chief Zhang speak quietly. Wang Shenxi, there are already many people this month. Have you found that all 4 of them have been found through 𝐒𝐜𝐴𝐺? Zhang Chuxi, what do you mean by that? So you mean that these people were killed by me, Wang Shuyan? Wrong. People in the town are smart and kind. They are kind-hearted. They won't kill people like Ming Xiao. Only ordinary people like Donggu will kill people. Chuxi, you mean that Pinger who is about to give birth is not? Yes, there is another person. I was so scared that I thought of the branches on the ground. My mother and the village chief Zhang turned to look at me at the same time. When I was afraid of being found by my mother, a hand that looked like a dead tree suddenly appeared and pulled me into the crowd. Grandma. I took a close look at the person holding my hand in the crowd. Turned out to be my grandma. Grandma turned around and made a fake gesture to me. I didn't want to speak. I was so happy to see my grandma, because my grandma moved out when I was very young. There is only one reason for moving out. That is, there will never be a peaceful coexistence between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Since my grandma moved away, I have always missed her. I still remember that when I was a child, my grandma was the best to me. She gave me everything I ate and drank. When my grandma held my hand, she walked to an empty place where no one was. I didn't have time to talk to my grandma. I was stopped by my grandma's words. When my grandma held my hand, she walked to an empty place where no one was. I didn't have time to talk to my grandma. I was stopped by my grandma's words. Aria, I'm here to save you. Am I not living well? What do you mean by that, Grandma? Grandma, Aria, your mother wants to kill you. How is that possible? Grandma, you must be kidding. Aria, listen to me. Do you feel that your mother is abnormal recently? And she started to treat you well for no reason. She even paid attention to your skin. Grandma, how do you know? Your mother is raising a human skin snake now. After your sister wears snakeskin underwear, the snakeskin will merge with human skin after being moisturized by men. It will slowly become a unique human skin snake. Once the human skin snake is raised, its skin is worth 1,000 pounds. Your mother is trying to make money to sell her skin. She wants to make money and go crazy. But my sister is the one who wears snakeskin underwear, not me. Grandma used a voice that others can hardly hear. She whispered, wrong, she is not. I still don't understand what Grandma means. She changed into a kind face. It's okay, my good granddaughter. Grandma will protect you. She said that. Grandma took out a small medicine bottle from her pocket. There was a red ribbon on the medicine bottle. There was a very old carving craft on it. What is this? This is a treasure. Before your mother lets you wear underwear, drink this medicine quickly. She can save your life at the critical moment. And don't believe anyone. On the wedding night, my wife took the initiative to kiss me. I could feel that she put her tongue into my stomach. I wanted to speak, but I couldn't. What's more terrible is that my wife's hair fluttered in an instant, until it became a scissor wrapped around me. At this moment, I felt even better. This happiness lasted for 3 minutes. 3 minutes later, happiness reached its peak and I regained my mind. But at that moment, I saw a man lying on the bed who looked exactly like me. This man's face was pale as if he were a dead man. Oh, this is a dead man. Oh, am I dead? What happened just now? Did my wife suck out all my energy? No, that's not my wife. My wife couldn't have grown out of her legs. What kind of evil spirit did I meet? What should I do? On the first night of the wedding, the evil spirit took some of my virginity. I couldn't accept it. At this moment, the door was opened and a pure and innocent woman walked in. This woman was Zhao Jiuting's newlywed wife. Jiuting, what happened to you? I just went out to buy an umbrella. You became like this. No, I won't let you leave me like this. We made a promise to be together forever. Suli has been worshipping Mao Shan since she was a child, so she didn't find the evil spirit at once. Instead, she tried to protect Zhao Jiuting first. She took out a blank yellow talisman bit her finger and painted on the talisman. Then she put the talisman paper on 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿's forehead. What is my wife doing? Did she see me die? He must be very sad. Suddenly, a suction power came from the body. 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿's soul was sucked into her body. 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿, can you hear me? I just summoned the soul for you and let your soul return to your body. Although I can't bring you back to life, this is at least a hope. From now on, I will apply the 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿 talisman on you so that your corpse will not rot. In the process you may become ugly, but I still love you. 𝐒𝐬𝐿 bit her finger and poured the blood into 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿's mouth. Soon the blood filled 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿's mouth. She was very happy because she regained her sense of taste. It turns out that my wife was just applying the 𝐒𝐬𝐻𝐿 talisman on me. The Taoism is actually true. It's really effective. She felt that she and 𝐒𝐬𝐿 had established some kind of connection. It's a bit like a master-servant contract. First, absorb a drop of human blood. Tribute point +1. A system. I actually have a system. System, what took you so long? If I had come earlier, would I not have died? Activation completed. You have obtained the current status of the host. Level dead body. Next level zombie. Ability indestructible. Dead. Life -1 locked. Cannot be changed. Freedom attribute _1. Can be freely assigned. Seems that I am really a dead man. But since I am already a dead man, will I not die again? How can there be a second death? Isn't this a rebirth? It doesn't look like a rebirth. But now I can't move when I'm dead. I should be able to move when I become a zombie. System, how can I become a zombie? The system cannot help you become a zombie. The system only provides you with bonus points. Absorbing spiritual energy can obtain attribute points. Attribute points can be used freely by the host. Add points to yourself. Answer completed. System sleep. In the end, 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿 put all the 5 attribute points she obtained on her soul. 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿, I feel that we have a closer connection. There are 3 conditions that must be met. The first is the spell. I have given you the spell. It can protect your soul. At the same time, your body will not become evil. The second is the feng shui treasure land. The living live in the yang residence, while the dead live in the yin residence. I will now choose a yin residence for you to slow down the decay of the body and nourish your body. 𝐒𝐬𝐿 took 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿's body and walked out of the small courtyard. Looking at the decoration outside the door, 𝐒𝐬𝐿 blushed. I was so happy to hold the wedding in the morning. At night you were killed by evil spirits. Hold on, I can't cry. When I walked out of the courtyard, it was a dark night. Under the old tree in front of the door, a few old people were chatting under the streetlights. When they came out, they greeted each other. 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿, it's past 9 o'clock. Why don't you and your wife sleep in the house? Why did you run out? 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿's head was on 𝐒𝐬𝐿's shoulder. She didn't answer a word. 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿, why are you not as generous as the bride? You are still shy when you see us. 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿 is drunk and dizzy. I took her out for a walk to sober up. I see. 𝐒𝐬𝐻𝐿's alcohol tolerance is really bad. I drank with her. If you take a walk, you will go south along the road. Less than a mile away is the market in town. Yes, it's very busy there at night. Don't go north. There are old houses that don't live in the north, and there are many graves. It's very tight at noon. The water is as high as the northernmost village. Many people are drowned. A few old people started to talk about the ghost story that happened 10 miles away. 𝐒𝐬𝐿 didn't continue to listen but took 𝐒𝐬𝐽𝐻𝐿 to the north. The young people now are really too fierce. Looking at their back when they left, they always felt something was wrong, but they couldn't say. My roommate ordered takeout and liked to put it at the door. After getting the takeout, he applied for a receipt or a refund. I advised him not to do this, which would make my roommate dissatisfied. But my roommate didn't care at all. Later, he was threatened by my roommate but only left me at home. I was severely injured and my skin was cut by a sharp knife. My body was broken and thrown into the sewer. At the end of the year, I returned to the time when my roommate applied for a refund. You scared me to death. You are just a delivery man who runs errands for others. How dare you threaten me? Do you know who I am? Do you know how many fans I have? I'm telling you, I'm going to refund. Not only do I want to refund, I also want to give you a bad review so that you can't run errands anymore. Lu Rian was so angry that she scolded me, and the other roommate had long seen that it was not strange. She kept busy with her own business. I responded that I was the one who was hurt that day. I was all over the place at that time. The roommate next to me saw that I was in a bad condition and asked if he needed to send me to the hospital. Lu Rian was really impatient. What can she do? She is as fat as a pig. Maybe she's going to transform. She's always like this. As long as we are 1 kilogram fatter than her, that is a pig. 1 kilogram thinner, that is a monkey. When I heard Lu Rian's voice, I almost went up and strangled her to death. After all, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been killed cruelly, and I wouldn't have suffered those tortures. Lu Rian, can you shut up? If you don't speak, no one will treat you like a mute. My roommate immediately went back to Lu Rian. Then he turned around and said that he wanted to take me to the clinic. Before leaving, I turned around and looked at Lu Rian, who was still drawing on her phone. I knew she was giving a bad review to the writer, and this has happened countless times. Lu Rian is a little internet celebrity. She is arrogant because of this identity. Every time she orders takeout, it's hundreds of dollars. The note is also placed at the door. But after the writer left, he took the takeout in and immediately applied for a refund. The reason is that he didn't receive the takeout. Even if the writer knelt down to beg Lu Rian, he had no mercy. He even mocked the writer. I persuaded him several times not to do this. I was worried that he would take revenge. As a result, I was brutally killed in the previous life. My roommate then sent me to the clinic. After confirming that he was fine, he left in a hurry. He had already made an appointment with his boyfriend to go on a trip today. He will be back in a month. So in the previous life, he avoided a disaster. My body was not in good condition. So the doctor only prescribed me a sedative. Then he let me go home. But when I just got out of the elevator, I saw a rider hitting my door hard. His eyes were red. You damn woman. You dare to open the door for me? I have sent you takeout more than 10 times. Every time you get the takeout, you apply for a refund. Are you still shameless? If you can't afford to live, don't order takeout. Open the door for me, you damn bitch. Even if you eat white stone, you still dare to report to me. You made me fired now. You must be responsible for me. The neighbors around had already opened the door to see the bustle. They were whispering and pointing at this side. But because of the fierce appearance of the man, they didn't dare to go forward. They only dared to look far away. The man hit the door with one punch after another. But he made me hit again and again, because I will never forget the man in front of me. It was 𝐒𝐜𝐚 who killed me in the previous life. At the same time, I received a message from Lu Rian asking me not to go there. I immediately understood that Lu Rian was behind the door. She observed everything through the cat's eyes. She even knew that I was at the elevator entrance. 𝐒𝐜𝐚 was still knocking on the door. The sound was very loud. 𝐒𝐽𝐚, you damn bitch. Open the door for me. Don't think you can hide in there and be fine. You make me unable to live. I will definitely make you unable to live. Suddenly, another shock exploded in my ear. Because I am 𝐒𝐽𝐚. No wonder Lu Rian didn't show up every time the takeout arrived. She didn't allow her roommate to help her take it in. It turned out that she wanted to take advantage of me. On the other hand, she was afraid that she would use my identity. Then she was found out. In the previous life, I thought 𝐒𝐜𝐚 had mistaken me for Lu Rian. That's why I became her scapegoat. But it turned out that it was all because of Lu Rian who used my identity. Since God gave me a chance to do it again, I would never do that to myself. This time, I won't be that pitiful scapegoat. Instead, I will let Lu Rian bear the consequences herself. I saw the rider who was knocking on the door. I ignored the threat of Lu Rian in my phone and walked over with a smile. Who are you? Why do you want to see me? You are 𝐒𝐚. When I nodded, 𝐒𝐜𝐚 took a bite. Then he slapped me, but I dodged it. When he slapped me, 𝐒𝐜𝐚 became more angry. You finally showed up. How is it? Is the takeout you asked for delicious? You like to take advantage of others so much. Do you want to get a refund for the coffin you died in the future? I will give you the takeout at the corner of the front door. You can say that you didn't receive the bonus. I will ask for a refund. If you are shameless, I will help you get it. I don't know what you are talking about. First of all, I am basically in the company. I can't order takeout at home. Besides, I am sick today. I just came back from outside. How can I get takeout in advance? Facing 𝐒𝐜𝐚, I am still afraid of life. But I also understand that if I don't explain clearly today, my chances will be less and less in the future. And there are so many people now. I bet he won't dare to do it. At least he won't kill me. Not you, who else? Look at the takeout list. It's your 𝐒𝐚's name. After saying that, he took out a takeout list directly. It clearly shows a crayfish worth 150 yuan. The receiver is my name. There are also doubts around. I said that the takeout man came to the door more than once or twice this time. It turned out to be 𝐶𝐫𝐫𝐫. Yes. Last time I saw a takeout man kneeling on the ground crying. He was cursing him to have no backbone. It's a sin. Oh, this little girl. No matter what, you can't eat without paying. Now you are caught. How can it be? Open your eyes wide and look. It's your name, your address. I see what else you want to do. My name is 𝐒𝐚𝐫𝐻𝐿, but this is definitely not my takeout. Isn't there a phone number on it? The customer's phone number. You just call and you'll know the truth. If your phone rings later, I'll see how to deal with you. With his evil eyes, I grabbed my palm and forced my legs not to shake. Sure enough, my phone didn't ring, but there was a ringtone in the room. After a low cry, 𝐒𝐽𝐻's phone was hung up. 𝐒𝐽𝐻's face turned black instantly. He also understood that he was fooled. At this time, I pretended to be confused. Turned out to be 𝐒𝐿. Who is 𝐒𝐿? Did you give her back a big crab before? Speaking of big crab, 𝐒𝐽𝐻's face is more ugly. Anger can hardly suppress it. After all, that big crab costs 500 yuan in total. But 𝐒𝐿 didn't even blink and return the money directly. Then he insisted that he didn't receive it. In the end, 𝐒𝐽𝐻 came to the door to argue. Instead, 𝐒𝐿 scolded him. He also said that he wanted to take a picture of 𝐒𝐽𝐻 and posted it on the internet. 𝐒𝐽𝐻 was afraid that he would be exposed. He had no choice but to do it. He not only compensated 𝐒𝐿 for 500 yuan, but also was warned by the takeout system and closed the street order for 3 days. 𝐒𝐽𝐻 looked at the door coldly. He was already wearing a shadow of murder in his eyes. Seeing his reaction, the neighbors around him also reacted. They started pointing at the door. I didn't expect that 𝐒𝐿 ordered takeout under my name. I said, why you called my name? 𝐒𝐽𝐻 was even biting his teeth in front of the door. Because as soon as 𝐒𝐿's application was submitted today, 𝐒𝐽𝐻 was directly blocked by the system. He lost his job that is hard to survive. He was also played like this. He must have been emotional. Forget it. Don't be angry. 𝐒𝐿 is a certain internet celebrity. She live streams every day, so sometimes she may not hear your knocking. You wait for me to open the door for you now. We will solve everything face to face. Just when I put the key on the door, a scream suddenly came out of the door. The door was also pushed over by someone. 𝐒𝐽𝐻's expression suddenly became fierce. He slapped the door hard. Damn woman. You're really in there. Open the door for me now. How dare you use someone else's name? How dare you be a bitch who doesn't dare to admit it? Come out and argue with me if you dare.